Debbie with Kip's Corner. Welcome back. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome. Today I'm actually working on two covers, but I've got one here I want to show you. I started, and so I thought I should probably turn on the recorder. And so I did, and here I am. This is this gorgeous piece of fabric that I got. See if you can see it. Isn't it cool? It's got texture. It's an upholstery fabric that I found on clearance. Yay. And so I've cut two pieces and I've attached them to, this is an old Reader's Digest condensed book. And this is my next cover. Then over here I have, this is a piece of, like a canvas that I painted and then just put some ink spots on and sanded it down a little bit and gave it kind of a little bit of a grungy look. And then I took an old handkerchief and trimmed just the edges and glued them on the inside. The idea is that this goes here. You've got your book, got your cover, something like this. And then I've got this gorgeous trim from the Snippet Shop that I'll put right here on the edge. And so we're gonna look something like this. So let's finish it up and see what happens. So I think next thing I'm gonna do is lay this down and try to get it in the center here. Yeah, we'll see. And I'm using Fabri-Tac. So let's go. Let's do this. I'm going to, I know I don't need that much. I'm just going to glue, kind of glue all the way down the edge here. I don't need that much. Let's see if I can do a better job of measuring. And then I'm just gonna put lots of glue all over the back of this. And away we go. Kind of excited. I found, like I said, I found this fabric on clearance, so it cost next to nothing. And just got, a little bit. I think I've got enough to do several covers if I want to. And it had such a nice sort of fall-y look to it that I fell in love with it for the time of year. Yeah, I did not need to go anywhere near that deep with it, but we'll do this. So I'll have some left over here. Let's see if we can line this up straight. And come up a little. Come up a little bit more. I want that to end sort of at a good spot. So I'll use, when I cut this off, I'll use the extra bits. Well, that's not too bad. A little bit further. There we go. That's better. A little bit more. Yeah, that's not so bad. A little tiny bit more. There we go. Okay, now the big question is, did I get it straight? I think not too bad. Okay. I'm just gonna dig my finger in here. Let's get this out. Kind of rub it down. Yeah. And it's okay if this isn't perfectly straight here because of the trim I'm going to put on, which is one reason why I like to put trim on, because it does help get the appearance of a straight edge, even if you don't get a completely straight edge. All right. And when I sanded it, you could see it pulled through. You know, there's little spots in here, but I like that. It gives it sort of that grungy look. And again, a little bit of that will be covered up by the trim. So I think that's a good thing. Now, I'm going to turn this. Do I have it even? Not bad, not bad, not bad. Okay, now I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to put just a few little dabs just on this lace, just so it lays down nice. You can tell when I fold this over, we're going to be kind of like that. There, kind of like that. I like it. Yeah. Got this terrible glare here. Sorry about that. Yeah. I'm liking this. I'm kind of excited. I'll probably put a plate here. Let's see. Here's one. You know, not this one necessarily, but maybe something like that. Centered. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Jury's still out on that, on what I'm going to do when I'm done. Okay, let me go through and put a couple dabs here. Just so, and I don't want it to bleed through. So I'm going to try to be very gentle with the glue. She says as she oozes glue out. I'm going to go, there's a seam here. So I'm going to kind of go down this seam part, a little bit on the fat kind of, and I just want to tack this down just so it's not flapping. I don't think it needs to be a solid glue down, and I certainly don't want so much glue on it that it bleeds through the fabric. So just a little tack, and that should hold, especially while I finish it up. There we go. Nice. There might be a couple spots that I want to tack down further, just here on the edge. Just so they don't wrinkle up and get goobered. And then down here, I'm going to make sure I've got a nice tack so that when it rounds the corner, when I fold in the edge, it doesn't stick out. Okay, let's do the same thing over here. And we'll kind of go gently to keep reminding myself of that. Whoops, there's a string here, and I think I want to nip off if I can get it. There we go. I don't think that'll hurt anything. And then that one. Okay. Okay, here we go. Going down the edge. And just kind of hitting some spots, some highlight spots. There we go. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna, like I said, let's see, what did I do with it? What did I do with it? Right here it is. I'm gonna put some trim right here. I like it. 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 I think I will do that after I've folded all of the edges in. Okay, so let's fold edges. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is trim this piece. Oh, well, let's see, now it's wet. It's gluey. It's gluey. I got too much glue up here. All right, we'll have to unglue the scissors later. Okay, I'm going to cut this off sort of even here. Okay, and then I'll be able to use that later for something. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay. Now I'm ready to fold the edges. Before I do that, I'm going to nip some corners here. And let's see, am I in camera? Just kind of come in just shy of that corner. And do the same thing here. Just shy of the corner. And we'll just do all 4 corners. And then I like putting metal corners on, so I will do that later. That's one of the last things I do. And now I can start folding up so you get an idea of what it's going to look like. So here's the spine. Isn't that pretty? I'm kind of really excited that I found this. Okay, that's still sticky. So more Fabri-Tac, and I'm gonna hit right on the edge. I don't know if I'm in camera, sorry if I'm not. Right on the edge, and then I'm gonna come down and get a nice healthy dose of glue, really. I don't want it to fall apart. And I think that the extra glue just helps. All right, so now I'm just going to turn this, and I'm going to start in the center here and just kind of keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until it all lays down like that. I'm just squeezing, just going back and forth and squeezing. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Make sure I get it wrapped around those curved parts. And then I'll just come back up here. Let's take the bone folder. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to take off these little pieces here. Okay. And then again, one of the last things I do when I'm done with the book is I put in papers in. So that'll come later, much later. All right, that side looks good. And it's straight enough. Again, when I put the trim on, I'll make sure the trim is straight, and that's what will give that a nice edge there, like that. Oh, okay. I'm liking it, I'm liking it. Okay, let's do this side now. I just want to, well, hang on. I just want to make sure that we're in that groove. There we go. Make sure that gets dried up in there in that groove. Like that. Okay. All right, that one's good. Okay, let's do the next one. Except I've got goop on my glue. Okay, Here we go. Okay, it was on my finger. Again, and this book has a this book has a little indent down here. These are all old Reader's Digest condensed books. And so some of them are in good condition and some of them not as much. This particular one had some dents in it, which was interesting. And I like covering them, even though some of them have absolutely gorgeous covers. I've set those aside as I've come to them if the spine's in good condition. And lid, there you are. And I will do something different with those and maybe not cover them. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, again, I'm just pinching, pinch, it'll grab. Just pinching. And it comes up, and then it grabs, and it comes up, and then it grabs. And so I just kind of keep pinching along. There we go. Make sure that we're flat here and don't have any funny bubbles. And we're flat here, we don't have any funny bubbles. And there's the back, a little bit of a grungy going on. Okay, now I can do the sides. Got some glue on there. It won't matter because this will all be covered up. But just to prevent it from being sticky while I work on it. Okay, now I'm going to do the edge. I'm going to pop that kind of in there first. So let me get some glue in going on here. Nice good bead, right? I always put a bead right down that very edge of the book. And that kind of gives a little bit of extra protection on the edge of the book. And this is thick, thick fabric, so I'm not worried about it bleeding through because it is a heavy-duty upholstery fabric. Okay, am I in camera? So I'm going to pinch the end right here on the corner, just kind of push it down with my nail, and then I will, my fingernail. I don't have a nail, and I'm oozing. So I need to get that off my hand. Okay. And that's it. That's how I do it. Not everybody does things the same, and that's okay. That should give us, and this is a nice thick chipboard under here too. And then with the thick fabric, so we'll have a nice heavy-duty book here. And there we go. And then at some point, I will, oh, there's another string. Oh, that's the one I cut off already. I'll test the corners to figure out what color I want to do. I'm thinking right now maybe gold, because we've got this gold in here, or they've got sort of that antique-y vintage gold, oh, what am I trying to say? Metal in both book corners and book plates. So I'm thinking that's going to be what I want to use on this. So, okay. Let's do this side, and then this will be done in the trim, and then the book cover will be done. Well, it won't be done. It'll be ready. Next step after this is what I usually do. If I've got an idea for a book cover, I'm all over the place today, aren't I? Sorry. if I've got an idea for a book cover, I like to do that first before I start working on the guts of a book. And that way, as I'm creating the guts, I try to create it so that it at least complements the cover. Or if there's a theme, it just depends. I think this one I'm going to try to do fall, maybe not fall so much. It'll definitely be, because most of what I do, it'll definitely be, I think, like a nature type, botanical, nature, trees, that kind of thing. And maybe in sort of those rich orange and, fall rustic colors. And so what I'll do now that I've got the cover figured out, as I'm doing pages or deciding what digital kit to work with on the pages on the inside, I will try to keep them at least to where they all complement each other. I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm not just doing a very good job talking today, am I? It's one of those days. I haven't had my nap yet. So right now, there's a lot of people that I watch anyway on YouTube doing these 10 questions, and it's kind of getting to know you sort of thing. I was watching a couple of them the other day, and I realized I've never really talked much about who I am. Well, as I'm pinching the side here and making this cover, maybe I'll spin just a minute and give you the 30-second lowdown. It wouldn't take long to tell you about me. I work full-time, so I don't videotape every day or even necessarily every week. So I am still in the workforce, not retired yet. Not ever gonna be able to either. I have 2 absolutely awesome adult children. I was just telling somebody the other day, the really cool thing when your kids get to be adults is when you can sit back and say, they're kind of cool people. Maybe I didn't mess up so bad after all, right? Maybe I did, just maybe, I did something right. And so that's where I am with them, thinking maybe, somehow, I did something right. And I don't mean just until 7 years ago, my husband was with us. He did die, complications related to cancers, the short story. 7 years ago in 2012, I lost my father and my husband in the same year. My father in February, my husband in September. And so, so my mother and I have learned, or are learning, I guess, have learned to live without our loved one, our spouse, at the same time. So that's been really hard, but I am fine. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm having fun making stuff. Oh, see, isn't that pretty? Do you like it? I hope you like it. Let me get up close. What do you think? Cool? Yay? Nay? I sort of cut that flower off there, but I think that's okay. I kind of like the way this one comes down. Love the back. Okay. Let's see. I was talking about me. I don't do a very good job of talking about me. Okay. I've got cool adult children, 2 of them. 1 son, 1 daughter. My son is married to a beautiful woman. And I don't know how he got so lucky, but he did. And my daughter is engaged, so it won't be long before she will be married. And I'm also going to be a grandmother for the very, very first time in about a month. Yeah, she's due in November. So I'm really looking forward to that. I have a grandfather clock. And 2 border collies, but you knew that already. I think that's the one thing you did know about me already, because they typically like to chit-chat while I'm videotaping. So you've heard them before. I'm going to let that sort of sit and dry a little bit. I'm trying to make sure it's straight, and if I pull it just a little, there we go. I think that straightens it up. That's about it. That's my story. I've always, I feel like almost always, been crafting of some sort, but I don't know that I've ever found something that I love quite so much, as making journals. I love the whole process. I've always loved working with paper, and I'm a paper guru, paper lover. And then the books the journals just go hand in hand with that. So I'm thoroughly enjoying this. I've been asked if I sell my journals. I will. I have an Etsy shop, but I have it on permanent, or not permanent, but I have it on vacation mode, if you will, now. And really, I just have to spend some time taking some pictures and getting posts. And I wanted to do it when I had enough to sort of make it worthwhile to do it all at once. There's something on that. Yeah, so that'll come eventually. I should probably do that sometime. What else? I think that's it. If there's something in particular you want to know about me, just let me know. Ask away. I'm going to cut that, bring that into the paper part. Oh, I don't know if you can see me. I'm going to bring this in here to the paper part and then trim just a little bit. Oh, it's raining. Didn't know it was going to even rain today. Imagine that. Now I know. It's supposed to rain today. Oh yeah, I did know that. See? What else? That's about it. I really can't think of anything else to tell you about me, so that's enough, right? I just got glue on that lace. It bled through. I don't know if you can see that on film or not, but it'll be covered by the end paper, so that's okay. Just make sure this is glued down and doesn't stick to my fingers, which are gluey. There we go. There. Just cut this little fuzzies off here. There we go. I didn't have to cut them off. Okay, I'm sitting on my foot. Ow, and it fell asleep. Okay. Next, that one's just about right. Man, what a perfect opportunity. Perfect time. A little rain out. It's a Saturday afternoon. I should be taking a nap. I don't handle weather changes very well. I usually get sick when the weather does a drastic change. And this week we went from 90 degrees on one day to a couple days later, I don't know, it was 70 maybe. So we had a 20-degree drop in weather. So yeah. Oh, listen to me. I'm talking about the weather. See how quickly we go from talking about me to talking about the weather, because I'd rather talk about the weather. Is that straight? Yeah? All right, let's do these side. Ooh, that one went short. That's okay. It'll be fine because of the end paper. So what I usually do is use an end paper that is a cover stock or a cardstock. And that way, it's a little thicker and it has more give more forgiveness for the bumps and things inside, especially since this upholstery fabric is so thick. There's going to be kind of a dent here. So if I use a little bit of a heavier duty, more of a heavy duty, I might even put an inlay here to get that even. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what needs to be done when the time comes. That's a ways away, since that is, like I said, the last thing I do. End papers, metal pieces, that kind of thing. Is always the very end or the very last that I do. All right, now I'm gonna let that sit just for a second. I'm gonna pull out some metal pieces and let's see. Let's see, that's the back. And look, before I start working on a cover, I put a little CBF, so I don't lose sight of what's the back and what's the front. There, I like that. I like it. I like it, I like it, I like it. That one. So one down. I'm working sort of on two different journals, or I'm going to work on two journals simultaneously. So I have another cover that I'm also working on. Let me show you what I'm going to do on that one. So here's what I got. Oh, see, I always mark front and back. This is the front, and this is the back. Okay, now I know. Here's what I got going on. This is another piece of fabric I got the same time that was on sale, and it's almost quilted. You see the texture in there? Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm thinking that we're going to do something like this, right? Yeah, something like that. And then, let's see, I'll sort of lay it out here for you so you can kind of begin to see. And then we're going to do something like this here. Yeah. And here's our spine. And then this will come in further so that some of that shows. And then we've got this. Yeah, something like that. And then on the spine, I've got this. Let's see, where's the spine? Here's the spine. We'll come out here like that, and then come out. Oops, let's just move the whole thing over. Something. Get the idea? Yeah? What do you think? Let's look at this spot right here. Here. And you can see when it folds, it'll have these pointy pieces and that piece, and voila. Okay, so that's the plan. That's the plan I played. So right now what I'm going to do is glue this down. And this has a pattern, so I'm going to try to get this pattern on the center here of the cover. So if I do that, I think I'll just about have it lined up on the center. So I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to just come in here now and start throwing some glue down. On the first one, I had two different pieces that I put, one on the front and one on the back. But because I'm putting on the spine a see-through crochet sort of piece, it's a beautiful piece, I want this to go all the way across one piece of fabric, all across the entire front and back of the book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue the front side first, get that lined up the way I want it, and then I will go back and glue the back side. So I want to make sure, to the extent possible, that I am straight. Best way to do that is to kind of fold here and here. This has a nice little quilt pattern in it, so it does help to see if you're straight. Let's see. Yeah. No, this needs to come this way just a little bit. Okay, now let me look. I'm looking at the quilt pattern. Nope, it needs to come. Let's see. That's the beauty of working with Fabri-Tac, is you have a little bit of time before it starts to set in on you. But now I think I've just killed my time. But I'm happy enough with that. Okay, so now I want to go over this with a roller, and this is going to get those glue globs that I just laid on there. Kind of put my finger down the center here and just go over it. My my brayer is squeaky. It needs some WD-40, I think. Let's see, that's a little off. Okay, not bad. And you can tell I've got way more fabric here than I need. But when I trim that off, I'll have lots of snippet stuff to use, little scraps. Okay, next up, I'm going to pull that back just a tiny bit and get some more glue in here. And we're going to glue now the spine and the neck and the other side here. Maybe not all of the other side, part of it. I think I find it easier to work in sections when I'm doing doing it like this. Helps me to get it a little more straight, gives me a little more time, and that's good. All right. Okay. Now this spine will be covered up. Let's see, where's my, here you are. There we go. Let's run the brayer over it. Squeak, 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 squeak. Okay. Let's make sure that I get all my glue in all the crevices. Glue in all the right places. And now, yeah, not too bad. It's not straight, but that's okay. Yeah, straight enough. Meh, straight enough. Especially since I've got the other pieces that are gonna go on there. Okay, now for the back side. I keep putting the lid on the glue, good for me. Then I keep forgetting I put the lid on the glue. This is Beacon 3-in-1 Fabri-Tac. As far as I'm concerned, they're all the same. They act the same. It's made by the same company. I think it depends on where you buy it, whether it's Beacon, whether it's 3-in-1 or Fabri-Tac. It is my, well, I've said this before, I have a love-hate relationship with it. But when you're working with fabric, especially, and I do use it on a lot of paper. That is not straight at all. What was I thinking? Too late now. Not ripping it off. I hate working with fabrics that have a pattern. And this one sort of does and it sort of doesn't. It's just this little kind of quilting that's in the background. But like I said, it's not straight, but that's okay. I don't think it'll be noticeable when I get to that point. I don't think. Now, I like I said, I've got a lot of extra fabric here, and really, in this particular instance, and I'm not usually this wasteful, but well, I'll use it. I'll use it for snippets and pieces like that, but I really wanted to get this pattern that's in that. I don't know if you can see it or not. Oh yeah, well, I bumped the camera. I wanted to get that right on the front. So that meant using a little more. Yeah, that's not straight. That meant using a little more than what I might normally. So I'm going to just trim this up so it's a lot easier to fold over and fold in. And then I will hang on to these other pieces to use for things later on down the road. And that way it's a win-win. Get the pattern on the front that I want. I still have more of this too. Like I said, it was on clearance, so that was exciting. And I think I have enough to do, I don't know. I got enough to do a couple books. Again, this is really thick. It's an upholstery fabric. Let's see if it not being straight matters. Nah, I don't think you can tell. I don't think it will matter. Okay. Oh, see? Doesn't matter how many mistakes you make. I think I've said that before. You live with them or just cover them up somehow. And I will have part of this will be covered up. And it's not that bad, so I'll cover it up and then I'll live with it. I'm not in camera, I don't think. Sorry. Okay. Let's get this out of the way. Toss you over here in the pile. Okay. Now, next up, I want to put this. See, this is why it won't matter. Because I'm covering it up. But I'm not covering all of it. It's too pretty. I think I'm going to come in a little bit. Let's see what this looks like. Okay. And then I want to come down here with this, like that. Yeah? How pretty is that? Okay, and then this will be on the spine. Okay. So I'm thinking this one hits right about there. All right. About Georgia, I think I've got it. I think. Come up just a tiny bit. Okay. Yeah, Yeah. Isn't it ridiculous the amount of time I spend putzing with this stuff? Okay. Yeah. Okay. I get these ideas. I get these bright ideas. Okay. Now, let's start doing some gluing. I'm going to put my hand here and flip this down and put some glue again on that same edge. Come on, glue. I intentionally opened a new bottle. And I'm also gluing on some of the fatter part of this doily that's down below. I guess it's a doily. Now I'm going to flip that down, straighten her up. Okay. We'll let that dry, and then I'll be able to sort of stretch this out flat. Now, and I'll do the same thing here that I did on the other one, where I just tack at some of the highlights, low lights, thick lights. That's got a stain in it, but that's okay because that adds charm. I like charm. I like adding charm. There it is. Now, time for some little dabble, do ya? Little dab here, little dab there. Oh my goodness. I'm talking to myself. The glue's not coming out. I'm saying weird things. Okay. So I'm just, again, doing the very light, sort of on the thicker part of this, if you will, where there's more stitching, so that I can tack it down and not bleed too bad. It might bleed a little bit, but we should be good. All right, now this is sort of easy to line up in that there is a diamond, right? Diamonds. Okay, wait a minute. Front, back. Let's start with the right one. And I want to get the center line diamond right smack dab on the spine. And if I lined it up correctly, the edge of this piece will hit right at the point of that first row of diamonds. That's my plan anyway. So you'll be able to see that, but these will be tacked down. And that gives us a nice layer. We're going from dark to light to the edge of the book. And then on the back, we'll just have, unfold these pieces that are folded, and I'll tack those down. And on the back, we'll just have this pretty pattern. And we will have just the brown coming through. Okay, so that's the plan. Let's start tacking. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put my hand on top of this, and I'm going to flip it down. And I'm going to put glue on, let's make sure I'm actually going to put it on the, yeah. I'm going to put glue on the fabric, or on the centerpiece here, on the fat parts. It's kind of the pieces, the parts here that make the diamond. And I'm just going to do this first one. And then I'll go all the way down. Then I'll come back and I will tack down these corners all the way down. Okay, I'm back. So I've glued this side. So now we get an idea, pretty good idea of what the cover is going to look like. Gonna be some beiges. There's glue there. Some beiges with glue. Some beigey, browny, pretty colors. I think pretty neutrals. So I have to decide what I want to do on the inside here. but this is a case where the idea of the cover kind of came to me first, especially after I saw this pretty fabric. And now I'm just going through and I am going to glue down the back side. Let's see. Okay, and then when we fold, we should be sort of close to the center on the little crisscrosses. So you can, hopefully you can see those. Yeah, that works. Okay. Next, I'm going to let the glue dry. I'm going to come back in here and do just a little bit of trimming because this fabric is fraying. So I've already cut it once, but I'm going to go ahead and, but I've been putzing with it. So I'm going to come in here and do another cut. All right, let's finish this up. Going to run a bead down here and here, and then just a bunch of loop-de-loops in the center. There we go. Whip her down and go. Hi, it's me. I'm back. So I got charged up, and while I was charging, I played with the bling part of the covers. And let me get this out of the way. My play area. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pick this up so you can see it. So I'm going to put, I have a oval shape book plate, metal plate here that I'm going to use. And then I'm going to use those metal book corners. They're just sitting on here now. I will attach all of this later. And then I've got this little key that I found that matches that I can use somewhere. And then this piece, these are Tim Holtz rings, book spine rings. I'm not really sure what they're called, but I'll look it up, or I'll put a link. And so that'll be there. And this is the start of a bead dangle. It needs a lighter color in it, something in this beigey sort of world. So I'm not gonna tie it off yet. I'm gonna wait and see if I see something or find something in my stash that I just didn't see this time. And then I will put the brass colored knob on the end to tie it closed. So that gives you an idea of the bling that's gonna go on the outside of that one. So what I do is a lot of times I'll go ahead and determine what I'm going to do, but of course it doesn't go on here yet. That's all the very last thing I do. So I just put it in a Ziploc bag, set it aside, and that way I don't have to accidentally, I don't have to worry about accidentally using it before I get to that part of the book. This is set aside, and this belongs to whatever her name is. We'll figure that out. So that's that one. And I'm really happy with the way that turned out. Looks great. There she is, sort of naked before her bling. She just doesn't got her jewelry on yet. Okay, and then on the other one, I'm going to go with gold accent colors. So let me show you what that's gonna look like. Well, for here, first let me pull all this off, because I was playing. I gotta play. Gotta lay it all out, make sure I like it. Okay, this is permanently affixed. It's not going anywhere. And it's like a brooch. Let's see if I could actually get this. There we go. It doesn't have a huge profile, so it's not adding a whole lot of depth to the front. This doily on the bottom had a sort of a very nicely pronounced wrinkle right here. I should have ironed it out, but I thought it would sort of smooth out when I put it on, and then once I was done, it really didn't. So cover your mistakes. That's what Mr. Broach is doing. She's Mrs. Broach. She's covering the mistake. But all in all, I'm really happy with the way this turned out. At the back, the fabric is on here crooked, but so be it. You can't tell it on the front, and it's fine. So I like the way she's gold. We're going to do gold corners, metal corner trims. I'll do a gold spine hangy thingy, ring thingy there. And from that, I'll dangle. I've got this little bead set up with brown beads, which I really like, and I think it looks good, dangling down. And then I found this little medallion that says breathe, which I also love. There, you can see it. So I will probably hang both of those from that piece. And then I will put on, except I lost it already. Oh, can't take me anywhere. I'll use a gold, a gold knob, Tim Holtz knob for my closure. There, so we'll put that little gold back on there. And that's kind of the way that's gonna play out. So yeah, I'm really happy. I love this tone on tone. This one is just slightly, it is colored slightly differently, so you can you can still see it, but yay, it turned out nice. So, whoops, as I lose everything, before I lose everything, let me put this in a bag also, and then I'll do the same thing. I'll set this aside, and we will wait until we're ready for it. And then we'll come back and we'll do the bling later. Bling it up later. All right, so there you have it. There are my 2 covers so far, or as they are so far, and the bling I've picked out. And now I'm ready to start working on the insides. Okay, that's it. Next up, I've got, when I made an envelope thingy for one of my design team projects for Susan Taylor Brown, I was asked to show how to make that. And so I've got everything ready to go. So next video is going to be me making one of those and showing you how I do it. And I've already got another one made, one of which will go in one of these journals. So more to come. Actually, and I may post that video before this one. So you might be sort of looking at things backwards. So I might be sitting here talking about this video that I'm getting ready to record, but you'll see it first. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for letting me muddle through this. And until we meet again, thank you. Bye-bye.